see what one. How many are familiar with this game? I think we all grew up with this game, is that right? For many of us, for most of us, for maybe all of us, some of our first experience with dealing with money, even if it was playing money, was this game right here, Monopoly. And when it comes to recruiting in LegalShield, and my topic today is recruiting in the 21st century. And a lot of people have some anxiety and a little bit of resistance to the term recruiting in the 21st century. We hear a lot of 21st century, and we think things are really different. Oh boy, the game has changed. Well, the fact is, the game hasn't really changed. You see, Monopoly, a game that we all grew up with, has the same strategies today as it always has. As a matter of fact, it's gone through some transitions over the years. As a matter of fact, they came out with the electronic version of Monopoly maybe a couple of decades ago. And then they came out with the online version of Monopoly. The fact is, the game hasn't changed. Would you agree? Same objective, same rules, and the same strategy to win the game. How many like winning Monopoly? Is that right? Quite frankly, I don't think I've ever lost. Take that as a challenge. And the fact is, LegalShield is no different than Monopoly, to the degree that the game hasn't changed since the inception of this industry, network direct sales. We all do the same thing today, even in the 21st century. So even today, the game hasn't changed, even for LegalShield, if you want to recruit. Everybody repeat after me. I recruit. How many of you want to become a recruiter in LegalShield? You want to build a large team of independent associates, create leveraged income, which means you have the ability, it gives you the ability to create an income and expand your income without increasing or expanding your time commitment. And that's exciting in the world of LegalShield. As a matter of fact, we can drop that slide now. And I just want to say, so in LegalShield, what do we have now? We have the ability to go out here and share this business model with folks. Our game hasn't changed. It's the same rules in LegalShield, the same objective in LegalShield. You can take down the slide. The same rules in LegalShield, the same objective in LegalShield as it's always been. The fact is, the 21st century technology that we use today simply gives us the ability to talk to more people. You can take that slide down there. So what's exciting about LegalShield is that we have the ability through technology in the 21st century to do the same thing we've always done, but to engage with and have more people participate. Just like the new version of Monopoly. We can have more people participate all over the world if need be, but the fact is, with regards to LegalShield, North America, we have more access to more people. Everybody say more people. And the more people we're exposed to the business, the more opportunities we have to bring more people to our business. And quite frankly, there's a difference between recruiting and sponsoring. There's sponsoring and there's recruiting. You see, recruiting is the process of bringing people to LegalShield. Sponsoring is the process of bringing people through LegalShield. Does that make sense? So what I'm going to talk about today, for the next few minutes, is just recruiting. Mr. John Hoffman, a little later on, is going to talk to you about building a team, and that's more along the lines of being a good sponsor and building a business and helping someone come through LegalShield. What does the 21st century tools help us do that we use in LegalShield? It helps us to reduce the fear of rejection. So many people have a fear of rejection of approaching people because maybe they don't feel they have the social skills. They feel a little uncomfortable. They have a lack of self-confidence to approach people. They may be a little shy. Quite frankly, if you want to make a lot of money, you got to get over that anyway. But the fact is, these things are there for the brand new associates. So if we can basically help reduce some of that fear and anxiety, we can help them build a massive business. A brand new associate has a tremendous amount of excitement and anxiety but a low level of knowledge and skills. So if we have the tools through this new technology that we have access to, and we can teach a new associate how to just get the tools in front of people without worrying about seeing everything or knowing everything about the business, then we can have them engage in doing more exposures. Does that make sense, guys? And quite frankly, if you want to be perfect, how many of you like being perfect? I mean, 100% effective. Anybody like being 100% effective? This is the only way I know to be 100% effective in recruiting. If you want to be 100% effective in recruiting, this is the only way I know how to do it. 100% of the people you don't talk to won't join your business. Does that make sense? 100% of the people you don't talk to won't join your LegalShield business. So you don't need to know everything. As a matter of fact, there's a sequence to success in our business. There's a sequence to success in our business. And I don't have my notes, but the fact is, let me give you the definition of recruiting. The definition of recruiting. Recruiting, the process or art of finding candidates for a post in an organization. The process or art of finding candidates for a post in an organization. Process. What is the definition of process? A series of events to produce a result is the process. What is a series? A number of things that follow one or another or connected to one or another. So that's exactly what we have in LegalShield. Now, of course, you have the videos in LegalShield that give us the opportunity to basically engage people in a process. What's that? Those videos that we have. And of course, we've introduced some videos now for recruiting. But overall, you get an idea that there's a process. There's a sequence of events we need to follow. Success in recruiting is not an event. It's a series of events and or exposures. It's a series of events and or exposures in LegalShield. Let me just share this. What's exciting about building a business in LegalShield is that there's a sequence to success. Everybody say sequence. Let me give you an example. If I ask for your phone number, and you gave me those 10 digits, so I had the 10 digits to your phone number. If I dial those digits in any old order, would I reach you? No. I have to basically dial those numbers in the sequence that you gave them to me. Does that make sense? So not only do I have to dial the right numbers, I have to dial them in the exact sequence you've given them to me in order to reach you, my objective. If you join LegalShield, and first of all, if you're not giving the sequence to success, then you may not be involved in your ultimate failure in this business. But LegalShield has a sequence of events that you need to follow in order to be dialed into success. If you don't follow the sequence in the order it's given, then we can't be responsible for your imminent failure. Does that make sense? So, moving off this slide, let me share with you sort of the sequence to success in LegalShield. Again, we're all familiar with Monopoly, and what's exciting about Monopoly is that, we're not playing with fake money. In LegalShield, we have the opportunity to play with real money, and we're building a business in LegalShield. And here's LegalShield. This is how the process works. As a matter of fact, to roll it all out, the first thing is we have the contact list, we have the third-party tool, we have the three-way call, we have the live event. I need to put my glasses on so I can see what you see. And the fact is that the approach is the first step. Actually, the list is the first step, developing a list. Everybody say, have a list. Now, today, we have the opportunity to have all kinds of apps and technology. I mean, the only app that I knew when I started LegalShield was the membership application, the associate application. But today, we have technology and apps, and we can store contacts in the app. But, I still like using a piece of paper. I still like basically getting that first step document and having a new associate write out their list. Because this is someone that everyone can do. Everybody say everyone can do it. You see, you want to be like the convoy in World War II, right? That convoy of ships. The ships can only go as fast as the slowest ship. Does that make sense? So I want to basically use the technology that everyone that I recruit can use, and everyone has the technology on a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil. Does that make sense? So use the first step document to make your physical list, because it's easier and more effective to show someone that you've done a list rather than tell someone you have a list. To show them that you've actually done it, it's also easier to follow up. And the bottom line is, as you expose people to your business and expose people to this opportunity, there's only two ways that someone will ever come up on a list in the follow-up process. That's if they buy or they die. They either get the membership or they can't. They either become an associate or they can't. Does that make sense? That sounds kind of morbid, but the fact is that everyone stays on your list. You follow up forever. Does that make sense? The second step is the approach. Now, I want to give you a couple of things in a couple of minutes I have in regard to the approach, approaching people with regard to LegalShield. First of all, your list of contacts is not a prospect list. It's a suspect list. It's a suspect list. We suspect they might be interested in the opportunity, but we really don't know until we do what? Expose them. Does that make sense, guys? Until we expose the LegalShield. So when I expose someone to LegalShield, my attitude is that is look money, not look lawyer. It's look money, not look attorney. Because how many agree there might be a lot of folks looking for access to LegalShield? Let me put it this way. How many of you woke up one day before you were exposed to LegalShield? How many of you woke up out of bed, out of your sleep, and woke up and said, you know, I think I want to go sell LegalShield. Anybody had a desire before they were exposed to this business to want to sell legal plans? No, you were never exposed to LegalShield until someone came along and interrupted your life and put an exposure in front of you, whether it's a DVD, a sizzle call, an online presentation. They put LegalShield in front of you. You were exposed to LegalShield. So why did you join LegalShield if you were never looking for it? You joined LegalShield because prior to being exposed to LegalShield, you had dreams, you had goals, you had ambitions, you had desires. You had things you wanted to accomplish that you knew, back here even, that your job wasn't prepared to lead you to. The job wasn't the vehicle to get you there, but you're maintaining the job for the survival income. How many agree that makes sense? So the fact is that you joined LegalShield because you saw LegalShield as a vehicle through the marketing of the membership, through the opportunity that we have available to bridge the gap as the vehicle to get the things you truly wanted. That's why you joined LegalShield. Why shouldn't we give everybody else that opportunity? So we talk to everyone. Does that make sense? We talk to everyone. The bottom line is, in LegalShield, you can't do the right exposure for the wrong person. If someone's not looking for an opportunity, you can have Darnell Self, Dave Spool, and Brian Crothers do a sit-down in PBR. That person may sign up, but they won't show up every day because they weren't really looking for this business or they weren't looking for an opportunity like this. So we look for lookers. Does that make sense, guys? So when you basically expose someone to this business, when you take it to the first exposure, and use a third-party tool to expose them to this business, the first exposure is designed just to give them the information to allow them to decide if they're going to become a prospect or remain a suspect. If they become a prospect, now I invest time and I invest money in them. Because we don't waste time or money on suspects, we invest money and time on prospects. Does that make sense? So once someone's exposed, now they reveal the label that's always there. Networker or not worker. Does that make sense? So we expose them if they decide that they're interested after the first exposure, whatever that tool is, and we have all this technology to get them in front of that first exposure, and it's at that point that we lead them to the third party. Now there's a couple of phrases in my last 1 minute that I want to share with you. A couple of phrases. Number one is, it may not be for you. Is that powerful? Use that as a takeaway, because most rookies make the mistake of saying, this will be perfect for you. And in the back of their mind, the prospect is saying, I don't know if I'd be interested in this. What do you mean about be perfect for you? I might not like it. You say it may not be for you. In the back of their mind, they're saying, you don't know me like that. Let me find out for myself. Is that right? Another key phrase is, there's nothing I can say that's more powerful than what you're going to see. What's it all about? There's nothing I can say that's more powerful than what you're going to see. That's why I want to get you online, take a look at the information. That's why I want to give you a DVD. Use these phrases that will help you. These are the phrases that please us. The last thing I want to share is moving from the first exposure to the third party is real simple. If someone that you're exposed to this sees interest and they're excited, they very rarely jump up and down and say, this is incredible, I'm going to go platinum next week. Very rare. They say, they'll look at the exposure, you'll ask them what it's like about what you saw, it's interesting, I like the money. No matter what they say, no matter what they ask, you say the same thing. The next step is to get you on the phone with one of the experts. They will answer some of your questions, and if they feel you're ready, they may invite you to an event. But that will be entirely up to them. Fair enough? Is that hot? I know that was too fast for me to get it, but you can watch the video when it comes out online later on. All right, so with that, I'm done. All I'm going to say is this. You have to be excited. Everybody say get excited. You have to be excited. You don't have to worry about all the words. Don't worry about getting all the words. Just be excited. You can pick up the telephone, dial a prospect, and say, hang up. They got caller ID. They'll call you back. What was that all about? I'm about something new, something legal, some crap. You make them in your own place. Go to me and come. I'm on the way over. Take a look. It doesn't matter. Just be excited. If you have the music, that's what they'll dance to. They don't dance to the words. God bless.